Okay, this video is called Homeschool Curriculum. If I ran the zoo, how would I run the school? Well, first of all, the best spot for school is a homeschool. And don't be intimidated by teachers. Teachers don't know anything, okay? They get this centralized curriculum that's all based on, lefty nonsense, all right? So let's talk about, some of these subjects will be most applicable to young children. Other ones will be as the kid gets older. First of all, reading. Teach the kid with phonics. The look-say method is fake. It creates dyslexia, okay? Bring the kid to the library, the bookstore, and let them pick their own book. Because if the kid picks their own book, they'll want to read it. They'll have enthusiasm for it. And the most important thing is that they like it, so they will eventually read on their own. As the kid gets older, they advance into more sophisticated reading, biographies, biography of Ben Franklin or other sort of heroic men. Lots of free time to read. They need a lot of time to read. They should see the parents reading because then it becomes natural for them to want to read. Once they get a little more sophisticated, then you can teach them how to write and how to speak. And you want to teach them rhetoric. Rhetoric is how you speak with impact. And this was the number one subject in the old days, the ancient Greeks and the ancient Romans, so you could speak well in a public group. You have gravitas, okay? And then it's also good to learn about poetry. Start with just the nursery rhymes, because once you get a knack for rhymes and you have fun with language and you see a joy in it, you get good at it. And then you can put that into your own writing and you'll be a lot better at it. Later on, they could read more advanced poetry, William Wordsworth and all that stuff. Okay, as far as literature, again, they should learn the ancient Greeks, the ancient Romans, and the Christian authors. That's enough. Later on, they can branch into other subjects of interest, but that's good, solid stuff. Second language, whatever language the parents speak is a second language, if any. Eventually, the child will have interest in different things, and they can learn whatever language best suits that. How to draw. This is a must. This should be a guaranteed requirement starting from, as young as 5 years old or even 4 years old, as soon as the kid's able to understand. Because they'll carry that with them their whole life. It makes them more skilled at observation, at becoming more objective, and they can connect it to whatever else they do. And if they ever become a writer of any type, scientific writer, literature, fiction, nonfiction, whatever, being able to draw will complement whatever they do. I remember in med school, I was real impressed by this one guy going into surgery who could draw out the anatomy quite well. Learn study skills. That's like the most important subject you can learn as a kid, because you're going to need study skills for the whole rest of your life. How to learn stuff quickly, how to memorize it well. Then you also got to learn knowledge management systems. I got other videos on all this stuff. Play some musical instrument. Usually piano is the best one. Guitar is also quite good, because guitar you can carry it around with you. How to grow food. You should have like a backyard organic garden, indoor hydroponics, and the kids should be involved in learning it. And don't use any harsh chemicals. Just learn how to do the things involved in growing food. The compost, how to plant it, water it, and so they can grow their own food. That'll give them a chance at independence, a chance at being able to someday live off the grid. They should, of course, learn how to filter water. They should learn other things about living off the grid, eventually learn a little bit about solar power, for example. They should learn basic auto maintenance. House maintenance, if you have a contractor friend, they can spend some time with them. Learn the basics, of course, of plumbing, heating, and then going camping and learn methods of self-defense. For natural history, take them bird watching. It's the greatest thing to get started in nature. Field trips to the zoos, nature centers, arboretum, natural parks. This will lead to an interest in biology. So you connect biology. It's not just something you memorize for school. It's something that relates to what you saw last time you went bird watching. And then that'll also make it natural to learn chemistry and nutrition. Also teach them to avoid alcohol and drugs. People who use alcohol and drugs are losers, so you want to avoid all that stuff. Both parents should be good role models, read a lot, and talk about things that are useful. Eventually, when they get a little older, they're going to learn more philosophy. Most important is ancient Greeks and the great Christians. Once they get the basic foundation, they'll branch into other things. And you can teach them, the truth that all this modern stuff's fake, gaslight, BS, nonsense. It's all bad. Atheism just creates losers, drug addicts, evil people. Feminism is Satanism. It's evil. All this, left is all evil. So they can be taught that. They got to learn, the basics of the Bible and religion and Christianity. Okay. History. Of course, the ancient Greeks, Romans, Renaissance, founding of the USA, Victorian Renaissance, same time of Victorian Renaissance, Catholic Revival. Then they should learn about the Big One, the Big Two in the 1900s. They should learn about the Soviets and Mao. And of course, they're going to learn a whole bunch of other things. These are what I'm talking about, are just the basic foundational subjects that connect to everything else. For money. They got to learn about money because you need money to get things done in the real world. A great book to start when they're old enough in junior high, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Kiyosaki. They can start their own online website business, things like that. Math's kind of a minor subject. It totally gets overhyped in the public schools, but you can gradually learn the basics, all the way up through geometry and statistics. You don't need calculus. You don't need much of this other advanced stuff. It's really overrated. Unless you're going to go into engineering. If you're curious about becoming an engineer or something, then you need all that. But most people don't. The highest math I ever use on a regular basis is stuff I learned by third grade. Okay, so math's pretty overrated for most people. Then another big thing you want to learn about is computer programming. You want to learn how to computer program, how to design websites, how to design e-commerce. That's why it's good for them to have their own business, because they'll learn from having their own business. Eventually how to choose a wife if you're going to get married, and how a prenup works, that sort of thing. So these are all good, how to minimize paying taxes, learn how to start a business and set it up so you don't have to pay so much taxes. So all of these things will help them in life. And notice these are all worth knowing versus 99.9% of what kids are nowadays taught in grade school and high school is just nonsense to waste their time. These are all things, when something's useful, you remember it the rest of your life because you want to know it. So anyways, this is a homeschool curriculum I would recommend. Hope you found it helpful.